Hello, and thank you for watching. This is Akua Hinds, the host of the Pure Passion Biz Podcast. And today I am pleased to be interviewing Veronica. Veronica is a portrait photographer and she's based in the greater Toronto area. Veronica, thank you so much. Welcome, welcome. Uh, Thank you for being here. Can you please introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about yourself?
Thank you so much, Akua. It's very nice for you to have me here. As you already said, I am a portrait photographer. I am based in Toronto. I've My background is visual art and graphic design, and I've been doing it as long as I remember myself.
Mhm.
And my passion has always been people. I'm also an illustrator, and people have always been my subject, and it just transformed into photography. And so now I work mainly with individuals, also families or small teams if it's for business. And whether it is for business or for personal use or for dating profiles, my goal always is to make people feel good about themselves.
Well, that is a fantastic goal and a fantastic business where you give people tools to help them feel more confident and to make more connections. As you know, Veronica, I am the proud founder and owner of three niche worldwide dating websites. And so I do have some questions for you about online dating profile photos and what people need to keep in mind. But first, I want to ask you, what are common mistakes that people make when they post pictures to their online dating profiles and to their professional website or web pages? What mistakes do you see that people commonly make with regards to their photographs?
I love this question. I'll try to be brief because I have so much to say about it. This is all I do day in and day out. I think the main mistake people think is that they think it doesn't matter. And that should be true because nobody wants to judge people by how they look, and nobody wants to judge the book by its cover. But the truth is we are visual creatures. Visual information is the first thing that we process, whether we want it or not. So we do it, and we might as well accept it. So it does matter. And so some actual common mistakes that people do in terms of their photos is basically you can't really see their face well. And so that can be due to low quality of the photo, due to the bad lighting. Maybe they're not looking at the camera. Maybe it's just a full body shot and they just jump in, like somewhere on their travels, they're jumping in the air and it's a fun shot, but it doesn't really give people the idea of how this person actually looks.
I see. And that's very interesting because I think that some people intentionally, at least with online dating profiles, maybe not for their professional photos, but some people don't want other people to see what they look like. Maybe they want them to see that true image of themselves when they're on a date or when they meet in person, or maybe they're just shy. But I think that it's a mistake as well. I think it's a mistake to wear sunglasses in an online dating photo, which is, again, sunglasses are great for protecting our eyes and they look great. But when you want to show somebody who you really are, your sunglasses should really not be worn in a photo.
Exactly, and that's a part of when you can't see their face well. There are just so many reasons why. Sunglasses definitely is one of those things. And to your point, when people are shy or maybe they don't want, someone to see their face well, that just doesn't work in the virtual space, right? In business, people want to work with people that they know, like, and trust, and seeing the other person face to face is just the first step. Now, with dating, that's even more important because if you can't see the other person, you just start wondering, especially as a woman, is this person a weirdo? Are they a creep? Like maybe they just crawled out of their cave. Like, I don't know. There are so many things that can just be, off-putting and just, honestly, just not safe. Like sometimes you get this feeling of like, oh, I don't know, this person looks sketchy. There's nothing that you could put a finger on, but it just doesn't feel right. And imagine you would just trip yourself over with a bad photo. Like, who would want to do that?
Very true. I agree with you 100%. Is a picture really worth a thousand words? And if so, I mean, please describe how images can communicate what words cannot express.
I find it's a tricky question because you're asking me to do exactly that, right? Uh,
That is
so
true.
I will just give an example. Like related to what I already was talking about. So I was talking to a friend the other day, and she was saying that she was looking for a plumber for her, just for her condo. And she was saying that she went to this website where I guess the plumbers are. And so she was scrolling through their profiles, and she was saying like, oh my God, like some of them look like serial killers. Well, I don't know what a serial killer looks like. They probably look like normal people now with all the TTC, we know that, unfortunately. But the point is that there's just something weird about the photo, right? So you can't even describe it in words, right? It's just either makes you feel good, comfortable, and relaxed, and like you want to approach this person and you feel comfortable talking to them, or you don't. And that's really like you can't really put it in words, right? It's just the feeling.
I agree with that. And I remember when I was in college and I was studying, this is one of my journalism classes. I studied business marketing and I also studied journalism. And in one of the journalism classes, in one of the newspaper classes, because I studied newspaper, magazine, print, and radio, and television. And one of the instructors was saying that you can tell that a particular newspaper had a bias towards a certain politician based on the type of photographs that they would post of him. And he would show us examples. He said, look, I mean, this is not flattering, right? I mean, even though they were supposed to be objective, he said, look at the angle, look at the expression that they're showing in this picture that they've chosen to publish, whether it's on the front page or it's in a big spread. Pictures really do communicate a lot. And I think that because we live in a society where we are, and we live in a time when we're blessed to have photography. I mean, let's be real. Most of our ancestors did not have it, right? We should really be making the most of it. And so, how about yourself as a photographer, as a professional photographer? How does the way that you do business help you to stand apart from your competition?
Yeah, thank you for this question. I really love it, and I really thought a lot. I put a lot of thought about in it. And I think what really sets me apart, or that's what I want to set me apart, is that a lot of times photographers, me included, they see themselves as an artist, and that's true. There's a lot of art that goes into there's art and skill, and I don't like saying talent because that's debatable, but and I think that the common mistake, I should say, that photographers do in business, if they really see themselves as business owners and not artists or hobbyists, is that they approach people from the point of view how I see yourself, how I see you. Whereas I think that it should be how you see yourself. Because maybe my style is light and airy and I like everything, to just be very bright and I want people to smile and be happy. And then maybe I work with this person who just sees themselves as really serious and really just, really composed and reserved, and they don't like flowery stuff, or they just really feel grounded and serious, right? And so if I come with my style and trying to impose it on this person, they will just not relate it. So my approach is to find out how the person I work with see themselves. And the way I do it is that, first of all, I provide full service. So that starts from going in depth about how a person sees themselves. If it's for business, we will discover their branding. If it's for their dating profile, we'll talk about how they are, what they like to do. Maybe they like playing the guitar, then we can incorporate that. And really, I do this little bit of mind reading. Of course, nobody can read each other's mind, but by asking the right questions, I will get it out of the person, their essence, who they are. And my goal is to make that show in their pictures.
Very nice. Thank you so much for explaining about what sets you apart from other photographers. So, what is the immediate emotional benefit that your customers receive when they decide to work with you? I mean, what kind of support can they expect from you? Does the support start before you take the photographs? I mean, do you pre-profile them? Is there a process that happens where you work together during the editing process? What can they expect when they work with you?
Absolutely. Well, the immediate emotional benefit is really confidence boosting. And I can stress enough how important that is. Imagine you could buy confidence, how much would it worth for you, right? Imagine you have an experience that not only you feel good about in that time, but then you leave and this confidence stays with you because you just look at yourself and you're like, wow, I'm actually great. I look great, and then you go into the world with that, and there's nothing more attractive than confidence. Over the past year, I've been specifically focusing on women over 40. I had a special offer for them. I'm still running it. And as a part of this offer, I took interviews with all of them. And I asked them one of the questions, which was, when in your life do you feel most attractive? And what is most attractive for you in other people? And the answer is always confidence. So that's really the immediate emotional benefit. And the reason it's immediate is because I do select photos with my clients right after the session most of the time. And we look through all the photos unedited. And when they see that even unedited, their photos are great, or at least some of them, and that's all we need, right? They really get the sense, oh, wow, like this is straight from the camera. And that actually doesn't look bad. And yes, regarding your other question of what kind of support that they can expect, of course, I do edit the final photos. Some people want very light editing. Some people want full retouching and they want to look 20 years younger. That's definitely not for business or not for dating profile. But in the end of the day, whatever make them feel good. And I find that the most important part of the photo session is really the preparation. Yes, the photo session is fun. We can create a lot of different photos. It's really a lot of fun in the process. But I find that the preparation in advance, just me taking care to listen to what people need, what are they, maybe what pain points do they have, and what are their concerns, so I can actually address them, that I find that provides the most support for them.
Well, that is wonderful. And it sounds like you really partner with your clients and you coach them to help them get the best results for what they're looking for. Now, do you think that photography clients should also work with image consultants before they do a photography shoot? Or do you feel that that's not necessary?
I love image consultants. I find that it's a whole different world and it's so deep and it's so fascinating to me. As a photographer, as a part of my services, I do provide personal styling consultations that are a part of my preparation. So we would go through my clients' wardrobes, we would pick the colors that I find works for them, and I work based on their existing style. Now, absolutely, working with image consultant is extremely beneficial because it gives you confidence, not just in terms of photo shoot, but how you carry yourself in everyday life. And I'm just not qualified to talk about that, so I'm not going to go in depth for that, but I definitely know some amazing image consultants and it's definitely beneficial to work with them. Now, it's just not specifically necessary for my photo shoots because I kind of cover that part for the photo shoots.
That's wonderful. It seems as though your clients get a photographer, they get a coach, they get an image consultant, and they get someone who's determined to help them be their most confident self in the shoot so that these pictures that will last forever will make them feel proud later on. And that's fantastic. That's amazing. Lastly, I
And
just, oh, yeah, sorry,
and
go on.
yeah, I just wanted to add, and they also get a professional hair and makeup artist because I always bring one for ladies because that's a big part of how we feel confident as women. Sorry, go ahead.
Oh no, that's good to know too, because not all photographers provide that. That's very good to know. I didn't know that that you provide that. That's great. Lastly, I just want to know. I mean, so as obviously everyone has their own unique skin tone, eye color, hair color, and that's wonderful. But what colors do you think are best for everyone in a photo shoot? What colors do you think that everyone should keep in mind to wear for a photo shoot?
Well, you're absolutely right. There is no one color fits all. What I can say is plain colors are always best for the photo shoots. So textures are great. Layering is great to add some interest. Patterns are not, especially when they're near the face. Like sometimes it can be maybe a skirt or something on the bottom that's not near the face that can fly, but we want plain because in the end of the day, we want the focus to be on the face. Otherwise, it just becomes more of a fashion photography or something else. In portrait photography, we want to focus on the face. And there are some colors that I find in general, they are universally flattering. Like, for example, red is just very striking. It's very attention grabbing. But still, different shades of red will suit different people depending on their skin tone. That's why I find personal styling consultation is so important for the shoot, because a lot of times people, by the time, they get to the point they want to have a photo shoot, they probably have some idea of what suits them, but they don't always know what will look great in photos. And that's really, really individual too.
Those are some great tips. So everybody out there, avoid wearing stripes or polka dots or anything on top.
Exactly.
Might be it might look great if you're out walking about, but in a photo, we want the focus to be on you, on your face. Well, Veronica, thank you so much for these fantastic photography tips, image tips, and sharing what people out there need to know when they want to put their best face forward. And so, where can people find you? How can they get in touch?
The best way is really through my website. You have all the contact information there, email, phone, Instagram, Facebook, everything is congregated on my website, which is www.vongart, not to be confused with Vogue. So it's vongart .com. And from there, whatever tickles your fancy, email or phone is the best.
Absolutely. And your contact information is listed in the description of the video, of course, that will be available. And I want to thank you so much for being on the Pure Passion Biz podcast. And I want to thank everyone for watching. Please do visit www.akuahinds.com and www.purepassion.biz for more information. And thank you very much, Veronica, for appearing today again.